Hi, everybody. My name is Jaylyn. I am coming from Crafty Girl Creations, and I wanted to first show you that I have gotten brand new software, and we are also streaming to YouTube, which is a first for me. Yay! Welcome to YouTube. Um, Today I decided to do simple card. I that's my niche is I like to do simple but beautiful, elegant cards. Um, you don't have to be a crafter to do it, and it's so easy to follow. Today's technique, we're going to use the stack, slice, and shuffle technique. It allows you to make three cards very quickly in pretty rapid succession, um, so that you can get more out of bang out of your buck in less time. With cards costing as much as they do today, it's almost gone to where you have to make your own. I just enjoy doing it too, and I hope that you do as well. So, starting off, we're going to look at. Go ahead and bring my cutter out here, and I'm going to switch my camera to my overhead view for you. We'll pull this one up. There we go. And I'm showing you today the Blue Florals, which was the product of the month in January for Stampin' Up. And you guys, there may or may not be any of this left. It went pretty quickly, but I know that last I ordered, it was still there. You could still get it, even though it's a January product of the month, until supplies are gone. We're going to use two different product of the months today. I have the January. I'm sorry, this was the December. So I apologize for that. This is the December. The paper, a pack of, I think it was 20 pages for $5 with a $50 order. So with a $50 order with me, which you can see here on I've got jaylynweinel.stampinup.net. And you could see that there. And if you need to, for spelling, because my name is not exactly common or normal, but that's how you find me to place a $50 order. And then you will automatically be prompted if you'd like to purchase a product of the month. And like I said, as long as the supplies are still there, they still have the supplies, you can get any one of the product of the months. This one again was December's, or sorry, yeah, December's. And then we also have the, well, I don't know if I have it here, but the January stamps, which was the sayings, the sentiments. And then today they'll have started a new one, which will be available to you. So this again is the Blue Florals from December, and we're doing the stack, slice, and shuffle. We're going to make three cards. So I'm going to start first. I'm going to set this down for just a second and show you. Oops, I've already got them over here. I have already cut my cardstock, and I've cut enough for three, cut enough for four, but that's because you get two out of every 8.5 by 11 of your 4 1/4 or 5.5 by 4 A2 cards. Grab my bone folder because you want to take and emboss that down there so that it stays nice and flat when you're mailing it. And if anybody doesn't know, when you score in the middle, these are 8.5. They turn out to be 8.5. And you want to score at 4 1/4 so that you have your A2 card. Let me just go ahead and score this one. This is, well, go ahead and get the score set up. There we go. So we have our card bases. Give it one more. Now, does anybody know why you have, I have two bone folders. Does anybody know why? Or I show you the other one. And you could leave your comments below for me, and I will answer every comment. I just haven't learned to see it on my screen yet. So we're working there one step at a time as I learn this new technology world of live streaming. Okay, this is why. And if you notice on my second one, I've got ink here at the end. That is because sometimes when Stampin' Up! Sends you your gorgeous ink colors, they're very juicy, meaning they have lots of ink in them because they're new. When you go to stamp your image, if you don't do this, then you're going to have a smeared image. Some of them are fine. Some of them don't come with overfilled, but occasionally I've had to squeeze it from one end to the other to get that flat area where it didn't have so much ink, and then you get a beautiful impression. So that's why I have two. So that said, we're going to go ahead and start cutting for our, and I've chosen these 3 pages because I thought they would complement each other. And you think, okay, that looks like a scattered crazy mess. Patterns, patterns, patterns. My mom told me never to put patterns, 2 different patterns on the top or the bottom because then you clash. Well, with these blues and the way that the Night of Navy is on the balmy blue and the I know my other blue. It'll come to me in a second. Because for those of you who don't know, I do have a neurological disorder that sometimes prevents me from pulling words from my brain to my mouth. So sometimes you might have to help me out and fill in the color. So we are going to take these 3 and we're going to go ahead and start by cutting them into, we need a 3.5 by 3 3/4 square. Now, with designer series paper, the Stampin' Up! Cutter will cut 3 pages of the designer series paper. Of cardstock, you don't want to go any more than 2. And not all cutters are the same, so you might want to take and test yours out to see how it cuts. See, 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Right there. That's our first cut. Now this is extra. Now we need a 3.5. And I take that back. I actually cut it wrong. I made my first cut too small. I knew that looked small when I did it. The first cut needs to be 5 by 3 3/4, so 5 inches. And this is a 12 by 12, so we've got plenty, and I'll use that extra for something else. There we go. I knew that looked a little small. So there's 5. We'll set that over now. And I'll turn it this way. By 3 3/4. Now, one thing you want to be a little careful about sometimes is to make sure that when you're cutting your paper, that if a pattern has a direction to it, like if you had zigzags and you want them a certain way, you need to pay attention to that. So these, I looked and they were pretty, you could have them any which way and it didn't seem to matter. So I went ahead and chose this. So you could turn it that way and it's fine, and that way it's fine, and so on. So now the first cut, once you have your basic set, because this will actually fit on the front of your card once we get going. So the next thing we're going to do is cut on the horizontal side. And we're going to cut off a 1 by 1.5 inch. And set that aside, and that leaves us with a 3 by 3 3/4. So now we're going to cut on the 3 3/4 side. And we're going to cut 1 inch off on the other side of the cut line on your cutting board. So what we're left with is going to be like this. And that's what we started with. So now we're ready to do the shuffling, because we did the stacking of the paper and we sliced it. So we're ready to do the shuffle. I'm going to go ahead and turn this way just because it's a little easier for me. And we're going to take this one. Oops. I know that's not the way I wanted to do it. That way. I'm going to take this first one and we're going to take it behind. And the second set, we're going to do not just the first one, but the second one as well. And then we are left with the third set of your designer series paper, and now you have shuffled all 3. Now I'm going to bring my card bases back in. And we are simply going to start with first adding a bordered layer. And what I've done is I've chosen white to put on behind these to give them a little bit of added texture, little depth. And I am going to take the Stampin' Seal. You could either use Stampin' Seal or your multi-purpose, the Stampin' Seal or the multi-purpose. It's personal preference, whichever one you like. And now I'm going to take and add the Stampin' Seal to the front of my cards. I can go ahead and get that out of the way too. Let me just get this on here, and I'm going to get the paper cutter. I think we're okay with it gone for a few minutes. So let's go ahead and set these over here. And we've got our first card. I'll grab that back in a minute. We'll need it. And if you've noticed, I've got my glass mat underneath. I like working on the glass mat because when you are doing like watercoloring or using a sponge dauber or anything like that, that you can work a little easier and mix up your colors, or instead of using up, I mean, it was not, you could still use scraps if you want, but you don't have to. You could use those scraps for cards, and we'll do that sometime too, how to make use of your scraps on a card. So 1, 2, and the third one. And I'm not sure where everybody's tuning in from. If you can, leave me a comment and let me know. I'm in beautiful Cold Spring, Kentucky. And it may be beautiful today, but it's cold. It's living up to its name of Cold Spring. Okay. Now, the cool thing about the stack, slice, and shuffle is that when you're gluing your pieces to the front, you want to make sure to not press down right away, and you'll see why here as I go through and go ahead and take my first sliced piece. We're going to put these together right on top of this. This one I'm going to put over to this side, and I'm leaving about a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch, sorry, about 1/8 to a 1/4 inch there, and I'm just kind of setting it down. Little goes a long way too. And then we're going to take this one and put it right there. And then we'll take our bottom one and we're going to take and put it right here at the top. Then what you want to do is just make sure you've got everything butted up together. And once it is, then you want to go ahead and push it down. And when you don't push it down right away, it gives you a chance to move things around. So if it's not quite where you wanted it, then you can move it around and still get it there. Like I pulled that down a little bit. So that's one. And if you do another little trick on doing cards when you're doing them in an assembly line process like we're doing, is do the same thing every time. By doing the same thing every time, it just ensures that less mistakes will be made, and it'll help improve your speed of it. And you'll get more cards done in less time. Okay, so now that I've got that down, I'm going to scoot this up a little bit and get it nice and, there we go, nice and straight. And then we'll take and add this one to the top. And once I've got everything where I want it, nice and butted together, go ahead and smooth that out. And now for our last. See, I'm starting with this left piece again. And, yep, next I'll get this top piece. And I don't know if anybody has seen oh, let me see, make sure I had that right. Almost glued the wrong side up. That's why it's important to actually just do things the exact same way, the same process as you're going along multiple cards so that it keeps you straight and sane. Okay, so now we have that part done. We'll set these up here. And we're going to pull some scraps that I had from cutting the white inserts and the white borders. And we are going to use Night of Navy for my stamping. Since I can get it out here. There we go. And when you're stamping your sentiments or stamping anything, you always want to stamp before you cut. Very important, because if you don't, then if you cut first, like if you're using a label punch or any kind of die cut, you could get the stamp on there and it not look good, but then you've already cut it. So if you stamp first, that keeps you from having to waste paper. So we're going to do Love You Lots. And this is from the Made with Love suite in the January through April mini catalog that just came out. So that's one. And I think I can get another one on there. Tap, tap, tap on your... Yeah, I can get another one in there. There's those. Now I need one more. So let me grab one more strip. Sorry if my head gets in the way. Perfect. Easy enough. Now my trusty little snips. I'm going to show you how to make a quick banner if you don't have a die cut or a punch to make a banner when you're doing your sentiments. I'm going to take this and we're simply going to cut down from the end, nice and even. And then you're going to take from the corner to make into the center and make a flag. What I call a flag cut. There. And you've got your sentiment. All right, let's cut this one in half. Give myself a little flag room, but see, I don't need so much on the left-hand side. So now I've got my corner to make my flag cut. There we go. See, it's not about buying tons and tons of stuff. It's about making do with what you got until you can get what you want. And I will always share all my secrets. There we go. Now we have our sentiments. But before we add those on, I'm going to give this just a little bit more of a little classy look. You know, I want to take, because you could do it this way if you wanted to. In fact, I think we just, I like it. I think I'm going to leave it just as is. And we're going to take a little bit of some ribbon. And this is on the fly because I didn't decide to do this until now. But I like to do that sometimes. And I'm cutting about maybe 2 3/4 inches ribbons each way. So that's going to be about 5 inches. And this is the Balmy Blue sheer ribbon that they just came out with in the January through March catalog. And so now I'm going to take some, let's see here. Let me grab my glue dots. There they are. Got them. Usually have them pretty close. I use them quite frequently. And I'm going to take in, first thing I'm going to do is put these two together, put the ends together. So that way it gives me a little ribbon. And we are going to be setting those right underneath our image or our sentiment. Now what I need is your help deciding how we're going to place this. I think in the middle, you could always go up here, but I've got the ribbon behind it, so I figure we'd go in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and use some multi-purpose glue this time. Oops. That way it'll, because this will go through the sheer ribbon. I'm going to give it just a little bit of glue. And with the, oops. Did I get them? I think I grabbed the wrong one. I certainly did. I'm debating on a dimensional, but I think I'll stick with the glue with the ribbon behind it. And we are going to set this down here and hold that down right there. And you just want to hold it down for just a minute. Got some glue on my hand there. And I think I'm going to reinforce it with a dimensional anyway. That's just I like to do lots of things to make sure my cards get where they need to get. Let me take that backing off. This is just, you want to stack these so that everybody gets some sticky. There we go. That worked better. Well, for that one it did. Bear with me. See, even I make mistakes because I decided to do this way a little last minute. So we're going to go ahead and just add a couple more dimensionals. My fingers are a little sticky, excuse me. So I could just go right over top of that. There we go. Anything can be fixed quickly. So now we know what we want to do and what not to do. I'm going to take the dimensional. I'm going to add one to this side. Oh, there's my take your pick tool. I didn't see that before. It's so much easier to get the dimensional papers off with it. Alrighty, and then we got to make I forgot to make our ribbon. So we're going to make a ribbon to put behind. And then we are going to attach everything. Oops. With your dimensionals. There we go. Right underneath. And I've got another set that I made the other day on a Night of Navy card that I'm going to show you momentarily. Just to give you an idea of another, the more papers that I've used from this set for the same idea when I was coming up with what I wanted to do today. Set that off. Set this down on the side for a second. And our last ribbon. Oh, there it is. Let me just pull my Stampin' Dot, or and I'm so excited because April or March is coming and our convention is in California. And I'm going. It's going to be fantastic. one of those, you can never have too many dimensionals. And for our last card base, just simply place that right in the middle. Love you lots. And that is our card today. I'm going to, like I said, as promised, I'm going to show you in Balmy Blue. And then I did a different set with some other papers in a different little direction with the Knight of Navy. So I appreciate everybody's being here today. And if you'd like to join me at a future time, I'm going to be doing lives on Tuesday afternoons at 2 p.m. And then I will try to do, going forward, I think I'm going to switch from Sunday to Saturday at 2. And if there's anything that changes, you could always find me at Crafty Girl with a GURL, Crafty Girl Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Crafty Girl Creations with Jaylyn Weinel. And if you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments section, as I will answer each and every one. And I thank you for spending this time with me, and you guys have a great day. Oh, have an absolutely wonderful day and do something kind for somebody. Thank you. Have a great week.